Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a Centurion Bystial deck profile for October 2024. This is my first kind of Centurion profile with the cards in person. I know before they were released, I did a number of profiles just over a few different variations of Centurion that you can play. I plan on actually re-looking at those variations and remaking them just now. There's obviously the new support, and there's just a few different ways you can play Centurion. This is going to be the first one. This is Centurion Bystial. In terms of just kind of the way it plays, it has kind of the least number of starters because like the supportive engine being the Bystials doesn't actually provide you any starters. It gives you some good push when you do get interrupted on certain plays. If the Primera gets stopped, for example, there's other things you can do with the Bystials. But what the Bystials do certainly open up your deck for is more non-engine, because the Bystials themselves are non-engine pieces. So they're kind of like a good balance between engine and non-engine. They don't start your plays, but they are fantastic extenders, and they help you hit good synchro numbers with your level 10s, mainly for synchros, but Bystial Rebellion also is a synchro, as it allows you to hit 12s because it's a level 8. But we'll get into the profile. I believe this is 41 cards. We do have the 3 Primera, of course, and the 3 Trudea, of course. So these are all 1 card starters. We have the 1 Atri and the 1 Gargoyle. I'm not currently playing the the new Centurion. I think it's the Chimera or Chimeria, whatever it's called. I do want to do a profile that is completely pure, so not including a sub-engine. I'd probably play it in that build just to give it a go alongside Bonfire. I'm not playing Bonfire, but it becomes a secondary target. So my issue with Bonfire is that it comes to a point where you yes, it's a 1 card starter as well, but it just means you've got too many copies of certain cards. It only gets you Trudea. So if you've already got Trudea, Bonfire feels like a useless card. But in the case of this new Chimera card, potentially Bonfire could be playable. So it's something that I will test in a more pure build, but in this, and this is still very it feels very pure in terms of Centurion, but there is definitely a Bystial engine. But the Atri is now fantastic in the build. So this was new in info. This card, when you have a Centurion and Emblema in your graveyard, you can draw a card. And now that Emblema Oath is searchable, this card just draws cards all the time. So you're drawing in your turn, drawing in your opponent's turn. And then Gargoyle is just the best level 8 guy. We are, of course, playing the 3 Oath, the 3 Field Spell, because these are all 1 card combos, of course. We're playing the 1 Wake Up Centurion. This is fantastic, just gives you more bodies. Centurion Bonds is excellent for follow-up and recursion. Terraforming is just an additional copy of Stand Up Centurion, so in the 1 card combo. And then Phalanx is an interruption if you set it, but also it is a combo piece going first. So it depends on kind of what your opponent does in terms of interrupts during your going first combo, whether you kind of get to this as a set card or if you're using it as a combo piece. You're using it more as a combo piece if you kind of get that far, depending on how your opponent's interrupted you. But if they have done too many interrupts, for example, with throwing lots of non-engine your way, this is something that you might get access to be able to set, and it's just a banish, which is pretty nice. But that is the Centurion engine. For the Bystials, we are playing the 3 Bystial Rebellion. This obviously just accesses any of your 6s. We're playing 1 Saranir, 1 Magnamut, 1 Druiswim, and 1 Boldrake. So I'm playing just 1 of each of them. You could definitely side more copies if you felt the need to. I like Saranir as just an additional way to get to Rebellion if you open the Saranir. And then, of course, the Brenna Regained. This card, again, the aim of this game, you're really just drawing a whole stack of cards in this deck between the Legatia, between the Atri, between Brenna Regained. You can draw a whole stack of cards each turn, which is just phenomenal for just the number of hand traps and non-engine cards that we're playing. Obviously, there's 4 Bystials here, so that definitely counts towards your non-engine. I'm not playing the 4 Ross at the moment. I probably would just main deck it if I had it, but it's not a card that I have access to at the moment. So for now, I'm just not playing it, but definitely you could put that either in the main or side deck. But we are playing Ash. And then I'm playing some 2-ofs. I'm playing Droll, I'm playing Nib, I'm playing Ghost Ogre, These are all just, I feel like they're just decent cards in the meta. I'm playing Tactics and a Called By. You could play these as 3 more hand traps, but I just like the versatility that Talents offers. And then the last 3 cards are impermanents as well. So if you're thinking of like your hand traps, you've got 3, 9, 12, plus 4 Bystials is 16, and then your 2 Talents and Called By. So you've got 19 non-engine cards in the deck, which is phenomenal, and then 21 obviously in an engine. So pretty good ratios. For the extra deck, we're playing the 2 Legatia. Sometimes you can make one going first in your going first combo, but otherwise you would definitely be using one like going second. Auxilla is great for searching. This is the new Centurion. I haven't got the cards yet. They are on their way, but this is the Primera Primus. It searches Emblema Oath on summon. It can pop things. It recurs itself from the graveyard. It can't be destroyed by battle if it comes back from the graveyard. So it's just a cool thing you can do against Tempai. It causes headaches, I guess. Then playing 2 Cosmic Blazer Dragon and the 1 Crimson Dragon. I'm currently off the Red Supernova. Where I would play it, if I were to play it, would be in this spot, the Arms of Gen X Return 0. This card is only accessible through Atri because it needs a Dark Tuner, but it's a nice negation for lights and darks. Certainly, like, you've got Cosmic Blazer, which does the negation, so maybe this card's just overkill and irrelevant, but I just personally really like the card. You're hitting darks and lights in this deck with no worries. So that is things like Nibiru, if you kind of, want to kind of push a bit further. But yeah, this is something that I'm just testing. I just like the card. And then the other 10s I'm playing are Chaos Angel and Bystial Dispatter. These just feel like no-brainers. You can make these very easily. This on your opponent's turn is a great interruption, and you can very easily make it light and dark effects, so you're not being destroyed by battle, and you're getting the synchro monsters being unaffected. And then I'm playing 1 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. The other card you could definitely consider is Chaos. I think it's Chaos Archfiend, I want to say that's what it's called. It was in my most recent Chaos profile. But essentially it's a level 8 synchro. It needs a dark non-tuner and a light tuner. So it's fairly easy to make. It's just Primera and Trudea can do it. And it can just attack all monsters your opponent controls each, and then the monsters destroyed by battle get banished as well. It's 4,500 if something's been banished this turn, otherwise it's like 25. But it's not bad. And it can actually float into Chaos Angel if it gets outed, but this just nukes the board. So it's probably just easier to play this. And then just 3 non-synchros being Typhon, SP, and the Artemis. This just allows you to make an easy SP by linking off Primera, which is just useful. Otherwise, like, this could be something else if you need it to be, but just to help. It's an easy stepping stone for SP if you need it, if that comes up. But yeah, that's the extra deck, and I'll do some test hands and combos. Okay, so to start with, I'll show you a 1-card combo. This combo can be done with any of your 1-card starters, like Primera, Field Spell, Trudea. And it's a lot better than what the 1-card combo was before. I mean, obviously we were doing like Calamity Locks before, so that's pretty strong, but you definitely get more bodies this way in a world where Calamity doesn't exist. So we go normal summon Primera. We're going to grab the Field Spell. We're going to use the Field Spell, discard one of the cards in our hand, and we're going to place the Trudea. Trudea effect is going to summon, and we're going to use its effect to pull it back and bring out Gargoyle. We're going to summon the Gargoyle as a 4, and we're going to synchro into the new Primera Primus, which we can go Chainlink 1, and the Gargoyle is Chainlink 2. So this will come back to our hand, and we will search for Emblema Oath. Here we can then activate the Emblema Oath and put the Atri into the spell trap zone. We now have obviously an Emblema and Centurion in our graveyard. So the Atri, it can already just special summon, but we can use its effect to draw a card. So this is just a draw. So this draw has kind of paid back the cost of the stand-up Centurion there. So we've obviously still got the other cards in our hand. We can then take Atri and the Prima Premise. So this is a tuner as well. And the Atri can treat itself as a non-tuner. So this just makes a Synchro 12, which is going to be Oxala. Oxala can grab the Wake Up Centurion. We're going to activate the Wake Up Centurion, which is going to just summon a token. Level, we want the token to be level 4. So you can choose level 4 or 8. And then what we can do is use the Wake Up Centurion on the graveyard, banish itself. We can send Phalanx to the grave. We can banish the Phalanx to revive the Prima Primus. And we can use these in order to synchro into either Legacia or into Crimson Dragon. So either or are your options. Crimson Dragon is pretty good. Obviously we can go Crimson, tag itself out for Cosmic Blazer. I generally like to put Oxala up here, but yeah, we can do that. And then in the end phase, the Oxala can set either Atri or Primera in the spell trap zone. Again, either or is the choice. Primera obviously searches more things on follow-up, so you can grab like another field spell, you can grab another Trudea. It obviously just depends on what you feel like you need. If you're also getting this far though, potentially like you could just go for Atri. This is just going to draw you another card, so then on your opponent's turn, like you can summon both of these. Atri is going to draw you a card, and then you can turn these into either Legacia for a pop and a draw, so it's another card that you've drawn, potentially another hand trap, or you can go Crimson Dragon, tag out for another Cosmic Blazer, and you've got two just very big Omni Negates that tag themselves out for cost. They're very hard for your opponent to deal with. And then in the end phase, again, the Oxala would just set one of your pieces, provided that your follow-up needs to be good enough to kind of justify that line. The Primera Primus obviously can come back at some point if your board is outed in some way, or if a piece of your end board is destroyed, this can come back. But otherwise, Oxala in the end phase just puts the Primera back, and then you can just kind of combo again with Primera. But we're drawing heaps of cards. We've got the double Omni Negate. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. Certainly an improvement with the new Primera Primus. But what I'll do now is I'll just do test hands, and you'll just see like we're really honestly, we're just looking for the one card combo and just a bunch of non-engine. So I'll show that now. Okay, so we're just going to do some test hands. We're not really going to play things out. We're just going to look more for engine to non-engine kind of ratios, if hands are playable, etc. One thing I haven't mentioned about like the deck in general, especially this variant, is that it's very resilient against the 2 Mulchummies as well as Shifter. It doesn't really mind being hit by those at all. So we've got Oath, Trudea, Ghost Ogre, Droll, and a second Oath. So 2 non-engine, pretty good, especially Droll. Like Droll can obviously be very high impact. It also can be not as impactful depending on the matchup. It's very matchup specific, but depending on how your opponent leads, it can be devastating. Ogre's rising a lot in popularity. Like it's pretty decent into like this deck, but also hits a lot of the current metas as well. Obviously we've got Oath and Trudea as kind of like 2 ways to play. So Trudea can kind of like start the combo off, and then Oath is there to kind of just be an insulation play, or we can go either way through that. We've got an additional card if we do get interrupted in some way. Okay, we've got Druiswam, Primera, Lubellion, and Trudea. So not a fantastic hand. Obviously, if this was our like going second hand, we'd probably just lose the game. Our 6th card being stand up. We've got a lot of cards that are kind of just like having doubles of this is not ideal. This being the only non-engine card is also not ideal. Like 1 Bystial isn't really a turn stopper in today's day and age. We definitely need to see more hand traps than just that. Obviously, it's still combos, but yeah. So for this one, we've got Ghost Ogre, Imperm, Talents. I mean, it's a good start. Engine would be really nice, and we have not succeeded. Hypothetically, in a world we're going second, we've got Imperm Ogre. We can throw this at the opponent, and we're drawing into Gargoyle. So, I mean, that's going to happen in a deck where we've got, 19 non-engine spots, and some cards in engine are not ideal draws. yeah, you're going to have hands where we don't draw playable. And yeah, like we would need that 6th card to be good. One of the other variations I'm going to try, so as I said, I'm going to profile a few different variations, this being Bystial, which I think is just probably the most well-rounded in the current format. We've got Stand Up, this card wants to be drawn. It's Boldrake, Imperm, Droll, and Bonds. Okay, so this is solid. Bonds, it is what it is. Like it's not a bad card, but we've got 3 kind of good non-engine pieces. Stand Up is combo, and then Bonds is just something that could be discarded off Stand Up if we were going second with this hand. Obviously the 6th card being Talents. I mean, that's pretty fantastic. We've got a lot that we can kind of do with this hand. And again, this is pretty resilient. This is very helpful for breaking boards if our hand traps haven't really like done enough. But that's, you know, we're happy to see that. Good engine and non-engine kind of ratio. Obviously, if the stand-up Centurion was stopped in some way, then it's not ideal, but Talents maybe could have, you know, drawn us out of that too. If there was like an ogre on stand-up. Okay, we've got Stand Up again, Bonds again, Oath, Terraforming, and Atri. So this is just all engine, not good. Yeah, not ideal. Like if we're going first, okay, that's pretty good. I mean, we've got ways to kind of play. Double ups of the field spell's not good. And then if we're going second, our 6th card was going to be Primera, which was awful. Yeah, so the other variations I do want to test out that I've got videos planned for are a Punk Centurion build. So now with Primera Primus being obviously a level 8 generic synchro, the Punk engine immediately jumps to mind as something that spits out level 8 synchros really easily, but also the standard Punk combo is able to kind of beat Nib really nicely also, just because the Deer Note brings back your Foxy, and then you can kind of overlay the Foxy and the Primera Primus into like Galaxy Eyes Proton Lord, or you could actually synchro off into Ultimate Zolkin because we've got a tuner and a non-tuner. This hand's solid. Lubellion is just a decent card, but we've got 3 kind of just solid non-engine pieces plus combo, so that's really nice. Yeah, so I want to profile Punk Centurion, just with like I think I've got about a 10 card Punk engine I want to try. Trial. Super Heavy Samurai with Centurion is another kind of variation. Obviously the Super Heavies, again, spit out Synchro 8 really easy, but they also set up your pendulum scales, which is nice. Definitely something worth trying. We've got Ghost Ogre, Impermanence, Stand Up, Phalanx, and Primera. So this is fine. 2 non-engine. We've got a discard in Phalanx where we could discard off the stand-up Centurion going first. If we were going second, the 6th card we'd be drawing into Nib, which is not ideal. So we'd probably just pitch this off the stand-up instead. But Ogre, Imperm, again, they could be good hand traps. Obviously, it's just going to depend on the matchup we're playing. Okay, we'll do a couple more. I think you can kind of just like see the idea in terms of like what the deck is kind of able to do. It's just, again, lots of non-engine. Engine is good. It doesn't set up the massivest, like the biggest board. It definitely has a low ceiling, but in terms of like your space for non-engine and your ability to control the board, the deck is fairly resilient. Lots of engine in this hand. Obviously only Saranir is a non-engine, so just like that hand before where we only had 1 Bystial, it's not going to be enough in 2024. Yeah, so as I was saying, Punk build, Super Heavy Samurai build, and a Pure build. They're the 3 I've got kind of lined up. I'm not sure about a Horus build. I think the Horus cards they probably just don't do enough. The other builds certainly have kind of like their own little niches. The Horus build, it doesn't add non-engine, and it doesn't start plays unless it's like Zombie Vampire and you're just hoping to mill your way into plays. This hand is great. Trudea, Saranir, again, only hand trap being Saranir. Also got Oath, so like engine-wise, we're playing the game for sure. Talons is going to have to kind of carry a little bit more though. We'll just do one more. Let me know in the comments if you've been trialing any kind of variations of Centurion outside of like Centurion Bystial just being the most common one. And well, I can have a look at them as well. So we've got Stand Up, Ash, Terraforming, so double up, not ideal. Oath and Imperm. So Ash, Imperm. Against some decks that might be enough, but Against the top decks, probably not so much. Something like you know, as a Fire King, Snake Eyes is not going to be the strongest depending on the hand, but engine-wise, the Terraforming is a bit of a dud draw. 6th card was going to be Talents, so maybe this is enough to like set up a bit of a half board for our opponent, and then the Talents maybe does the rest, and the engine's strong. But otherwise, that's going to be it for this one. This is I'm just glad I have the deck now. Obviously, it cost an arm and a leg when it first released, and so to have it kind of reprinted in the tins for poor people like me is awesome, because now I get to play it. I was so keen to play it when it was first released, but now I can actually play it. And with the new support, like the deck's actually, it's definitely got legs for sure, and it's able to kind of hold its own in the meta. But that'll be it for this one, and I'll catch you in the next one.